Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. We have the breaking news. The moment that I think we're all anticipating. Frank Lampard is Everton's new manager. He's confirmed, signed a 2.5-year contract with the club. And it looks like he's bringing Paul Clement, who was the former assistant manager to Carlo Ancelotti at 4 clubs, PSG, Chelsea, amongst others. And I think that's a real coup, obviously, to bring him in. But it is sad that it appears now Duncan Ferguson is going to be leaving the club. Now, get your reaction in here. Now, I want to know what people think about this. What do you think about Duncan Ferguson leaving potentially under this new reshuffle? And also thoughts on the fact that Lampard is now officially being confirmed. It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere, apart from the Everton website of all places. But Sky Sports and every journalist in the land is reporting that Frank Lampard is the new Everton manager. So it's also reported that Donny Van De Beek has agreed a deal. He's Lampard bringing the Beek in. Donny Van De Beek will sign until the end of the season. A 6-month deal, effectively, until the end of the year. Now, I think Donny Van De Beek, I want to know what people's opinions are on him. Can he add something different to this Everton side? We're obviously crying out for someone who can play in the hole, someone who can play as a number 10. But I think Donny Van De Beek has got more than that. He could probably play as a 6 or an 8. So Lampard certainly can utilize his versatility. Let me know what you think on that. Obviously, hasn't had a good time at Manchester United since signing for £35 million, but he is a former Ballon d'Or. He's a former Ballon d'Or nominee, so he's coming to Everton on loan. We're paying his salary, and then I think we've got to pay a £500,000 loan fee. So overall, I think that's a positive deal. He gives flexibility in the middle. He's obviously not done too well at United, but I think now we'll get a chance at Everton without the huge pressure of United. And can hopefully show the form that he displayed at the likes of Ajax. So I'm confident in that. And I think Everton are still going to go into the market now. I believe potentially 2 more signings. They're talking about Idrissa Gueye from PSG. That's not happening. Let's not get too excited about that, I'm afraid. He's away with Senegal in the African Cup of Nations at the moment. I know you can do things over email and Zoom and whatnot, and fax. But for me, he's a key player of the PSG side. He plays in all the big games. So I don't think it's going to be Ghana Guy. Dele Alli, I mean, we can't loan another player from another Premier League team because we've got 2 loans, El Ghazi and Van De Beek, to be announced tomorrow. So I don't think we'd sign Dele Alli on a permanent deal. I think Spurs are very tough with the negotiations. So I don't think we'd pay more than like 4 or 5 million for Dele Alli, I'll be honest with you. So I don't see that one happening. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Chelsea don't want to loan him. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek, probably a no-go. But let's see. The talk is 2 or 3 signings, a centre-half and someone to play in midfield, in addition to Donny Van De Beek, because we're really short in there. We were short even with everyone fit. Shorter quality, if anything. Now, if you're just joining, welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, the channel host. I know I'm sure there's lots of other content live at the moment, but if you're here with me, which you are, it's much appreciated. Hit that like and subscribe button. I think we're close to 750 subs, so let's get up to 750 subs tonight. If you're a Chelsea fan, welcome. Let me know what you think on Frank Lampard, your club legend and all-time record goalscorer, signing for another blue team up north. And if you're a Man United fan, let me know what you think about Donny Van De Beek. And if you're an Evertonian, have your say on everything here. Duncan Ferguson, are you sad to see him leave after so long? Or do you think this is his time? He needs to go away and get some experience and then come back and build a career as a manager. Now, for me, I think he was torn between a really comfortable position as a coach at Everton, a club he clearly loves, and potentially going away and may never, hit the heights that he needs to get the Everton job. So it's a tough one for him, but it looks like he is going. And it's sad to see that. But the benefit, I suppose, it means that Paul Clement, who's a really highly regarded assistant manager at a lot of clubs, can come in now, and we need a change, really, don't we? So Paul Clement coming in, Not too sure about Anthony Barry at the moment. I think Chelsea said he could go, but he's happy either way. And I think there were a couple of other Chelsea backroom staff that were nabbing who stayed there when Lampard was there in a short spell. Now, I'm getting asked about my reaction to Frank Lampard. I watched a video on YouTube. He was interviewed by Gary Neville, and he came across really, really intelligent and down-to-earth guy with a good sense of humour. And I'll be honest with you, I've avoided everything to do with Frank Lampard since 2009. For me, he broke my heart there as a 13 or 14-year-old. How old would I have been there? No, not 13 or 14. Would have been about 16 or 17, actually, in 2009. Broke my heart, so avoided him, hated him. But, we sometimes have to get over those things. And I have done. And I really liked, actually, the way he came across in his interviews with Gary Neville. I think in terms of his managerial pedigree, it is limited. Derby County, a season there, should have got them promoted, but it came up against a really tough team in Aston Villa in that final. So he was unlucky, really. And also, obviously, his first year at Chelsea, they weren't really expected to do anything. And he said himself, the Chelsea hierarchy said, we're not expecting you to win the league. Or we just, want a solid campaign. And he finished in the top 4. He lost Eden Hazard. The team was built all around him. And he had the transfer ban. And I think he did amicably well. He wasn't rotten to the core. He just lost a few games. Went, I think, a bad run, maybe 1 in 9 wins or something, and lost his job. But look, I think he'll have learned a lot from those experiences. And now is the time to build a dynasty at a club like Everton. 2.5 years. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have wanted to give any manager that length of deal. I think we would have gone for an 18-month contract and reviewed the situation then. But look, he wants to come. He doesn't want to just dip his hand in and walk straight out. So we've given him the 2.5 years deal. So let's hope he's the manager who can see us into the new stadium. And if he's still here at that time, then we'll know he's done a good job. I'm going to come quickly to the comments. Once again, I ask at the ticker at the bottom, hit that subscribe button for me. I think we're close to 750 subs, so it'd be lovely to get up to 750 subs tonight. And I go to the comments. I have got Chris Peacock. Good evening, Chris. He says, I'm not sure how I feel about it. What you're referring to there, Chris? And I've got Jason Drury. Hi, Jace. He's saying, I'll support Chelsea. I will support Lampard and Clement. Sunderland have sacked their manager tonight. Maybe a good fit for DUNC. Possibly, but obviously played for Newcastle. So it's just whether he'd go there. But look, he's going to have to take his dip in. He's going to have a go. If he wants to be Everton manager, he needs to prove himself. I mean, based on the Frank Lampard appointment, he won't have to do an awful lot. Let's be honest. Lampard has only had 2 years managerial experience and no trophies, nothing really that overwhelming. So he just needs to go and get some experience, Championship or in Scotland, and work his way up, I think. Dunk saying, Chris is saying, sorry guys, tongue twisted. Chris is saying Big Dunk should be first team manager somewhere and come back in 5 years. Well, he's 50 now, so if he wants to be a manager, I think he needs to crack on with it, doesn't he? I wonder whether Duncan Ferguson will actually go to Real Madrid, because Carlo Ancelotti rates him extremely highly and wanted him there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off to Real Madrid and then comes back. But I think he needs to go and get some experience as a manager. Carlo may help us with a loan for a player. Where have you heard that? Not sure about it. Don't think so. Who would it be? Eden Hazard, maybe? And Hikon Isaac Sarak, good evening again. He says finally positive vibes in the club for the first time. I agree. I think it is really positive. Really positive. I think for the first time in a while, the fans seem united behind an appointment. And I don't know whether that's partly out of desperation and partly down to the fact no one wanted any of the other candidates, but we've got him now. The fans seem united. They seem happy. The backroom team he's bringing in looks good. I think Duncan Ferguson leaving is a shame, but ultimately, if he's going to be Everton manager in the future, he needs to do that, I think, and come back. And we need a change at the end of the day. The recruitment, I think Lampard will attract some good players. He will promote youth, which is really good. I think he'll get the best out of Anthony Gordon, and I think we'll see far more emphasis on the academy, bringing players through. So promoting youth, good with the young players. He's an English coach. I think that's good. I mean, obviously the negative of that is he doesn't speak Portuguese or Spanish, not that I'm aware of. And we've got a lot of players who speak that as their primary language. So hopefully we've got someone within the coaching setup who can speak those languages, all three. So I think positive, which is unusual. I mean, if you've seen me a lot, I don't get excited about too much, but I'm fairly happy. I'll be honest with you. I'm fairly happy. And I liked the interview with Frank Lampard and Gary Neville, and I watched it. It was an hour long, and then I watched some of this content. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I'm just going to take a very short break. Hang on 1 second, guys. I am back. Okay, for a short while, because we had a long stream last night. We had, not last night, maybe the night before, we had 1,800 people, 1,800 views on YouTube for that. So that was really good. And I think we gained about 50 subscribers from that one video. So that was nice to see. Now, how did the deal with Lampard come about? You might be asking. Well, I have some information. Tim Cahill, well, it's not really some information. I'm just reading what I'm seeing on The Athletic. I don't know whether you're all subscribed, but basically saying that Barrett Baxendale, Graham Sharp, Grant Inglaze, and Tim Cahill had met in London with Farhad Moshiri to talk about the managerial appointments. He interviewed all three candidates, give the sales pitch. I mean, for me, that sounds embarrassing. It's like the X Factor. I think if you've got to do that after all those interviews, pathetic. I mean, I thought it was a case of Duncan being told that he was going and veto thanks, but no thanks. But it appears from this good source at The Athletic that no, they had to give another sales pitch, which seems ridiculous, really. Moshiri pressed Lampard hard. One influential figure close to Moshiri pressed hard for an interview. Talking about being a concern that Lampard hadn't done anything for 18 months since he left Old Trafford, but his advisor apparently said you shouldn't cloud your judgment with that. I wonder who that advisor was. Cahill was a fan of Lampard, and now he's got an official role as a technical team in the technical team. I wonder whether it's something similar to how Petr Cech is doing at Chelsea, but apparently the two of them are friends. Lampard did a top class presentation, detailed on tactics and how he wants to play. He won over the talks of his length of his deal. The search was undertaken with a low risk mentality. Really interesting, actually. I think have a look at this article on The Athletic if you get a chance. Quite long. I can't actually go through it all on here. It's very, very long. Probably should have read it before I came on air. A lot of it's repeating what we know anyway. Have a look on The Athletic if you're not already. I'm not going to sponsor it, but it's a decent article that if you want to have a look from what I've seen. So just gives a little bit more insight and thought on what happened in terms of the approach and how Lampard got the job. Jason Taylor, hi Jason. He's saying rumours of Billy Gilmore. I don't see that. I mean, wasn't great at Norwich, and we can't loan another player. That's the problem from another Premier League team. So we have to buy him on a permanent, and I don't know. My experience with Billy Gilmore was that he played against us a few years ago. I think Chelsea might have beaten us 3-0 or 5-0 at Stamford Bridge, and he just passed us off the park. He was brilliant. So huge potential there, but I don't see it. I don't see that happening, I'll be honest with you. Keep the comments coming for a short while, and let me know what your thoughts are. Are you happy with Lampard? What do you think he'll bring to the club? Are you happy with the backroom staff, Paul Clement, amongst others? And are you sad to see Duncan Ferguson potentially leave? And also, who would you like Everton to sign tomorrow on deadline day? Or already we've got Donny Van De Beek in the bag. That's a terrible pun. Beak in the bag. Oh, God. Not that I would know anything about that, but Beak in the bag. And hopefully looking for some other players at centre half and a central midfielder. So some of you might be wondering what Lampard's managerial stats are as a manager. So let's just have a look now. I mean, I think one thing with Lampard is you can't be fixated on his playing career. Obviously, he was one of the best midfielders in the Premier League era, if not the best. So you can't let that interfere with his managerial record. I think for me, if he wasn't such a good player, he probably wouldn't have got this job, I'll be honest, because in isolation, these two managerial experiences aren't quite, they're not outstanding. But then he got the Chelsea job without doing an awful lot. So he's Derby County manager, 31st of May to 18 to July 19. Played 57 games, won 24, drawn 17, lost 16, won 42%, which is quite good, to be honest. But they spent a lot of money, didn't they, Derby? And they're in a mess now. Chelsea, July the 19th. Oh, he joined straight from Derby, and 25th of Jan. So he was there 18 months, and he played 84 games, won 44 and lost 23, drawn 17. His overall win percentage is 48.2%. What do we make of that, guys? Young, hungry manager with potential. Voltspark 345. Good evening. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button for me, and let's get up to 250 subscribers. I think we need 3 more people to subscribe. Please support the channel tonight, and it really helps with the algorithm of things. And if you like the content, then subscribe for more. We want Garner and Barkley, and I think Frank Lampard's got a point to prove. I agree. I think he's definitely got a point to prove. I think his sacking at Chelsea was harsh. And I think he's got a lot to offer for sure. He's got a lot of potential. He's going to want to show what he can do as a manager. I think the Chelsea thing probably came a bit too premature for him, but he did say that he knew that Chelsea historically will only appoint a manager for like 18 months, 2 years. So he knew it wasn't going to be a long-term thing regardless. But yeah, he's definitely got a point to prove. Garner, yeah, be amazing to see him back, but he's playing in the African Cup of Nations as we speak, and I just don't see it. And Ross Barkley, I don't think he rated Ross Barkley. I think he was the one who got rid of him to Villa, so I don't see Ross Barkley joining, if I'm honest with you. Thanks for your comment. Yeah, we need one more one more person to subscribe to get to 750. So someone who's new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for me. Mic controllers say we should have got Klopp. Yeah, that's not happening, is it? Are you a Liverpool fan? Jace Taylor, hi Jace. Would you have Ruben Lofthouse Cheek, or Dele Alli? I'd go for Loftus Cheek. I think what has Dele Alli done in the past 2 years? I mean, he's been really heavily criticised. I think he'll be they'll both be on big salary, to be honest, but I think Loftus Cheek is a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more box to box. He's got a little bit more physicality. I think he'd be a better replacement for Doucouré. Personally, I'd like to see Ruben Loftus Cheek in an Everton shirt. I've liked him for a while, but Chelsea, he's playing for Chelsea now. He's getting games. He's not going to be allowed to leave on loan or on a permanent deal, and obviously we can't have any more loans. I think I'd still have Dele Alli. But he wouldn't be my priority. I think I'd look for a central midfielder, and I'd look for more of a deep line midfielder, and I'd look for a centre half before I went for Dele Alli. But if Ruben Loftus-Cheek came available for a good fee, I'd snap their hands off. Just looking at something, bear with me 1 second. I know we've got 40 watching, including all on YouTube, which is fantastic. We haven't got anyone watching on Facebook, which is unusual. Volkspark, he hungry, and a winner. Look at Gerrard. I agree. You don't become an elite footballer without a real fantastic mentality and desire. And I think we need someone who's going to come and install a winning mentality. You would have thought that you would have really thought that Rafa Benitez had a winning mentality. You would have thought that Ancelotti had a winning mentality. So I think Ronald Koeman, I think to some extent, we've always had, look, this is going to be controversial. Let's be honest, it's not always been the managers here at Everton that are the problem. It's been the players. It's been the poor recruitment. But I think with this, you need to give Frank Lampard a lot of time to get his own players in. I think the style of football that he'll play, from what I've seen and from the videos and what his comments are, it's going to be a high tempo, high energy, high press, win the ball back up the pitch. He at Derby were a counter-attacking team when he first came in. They were a counter-attacking team. It'd be great to get a Derby fan on or a Chelsea fan to provide some more insight, but they were a counter-attacking team, and he transformed them into, first of all, 10% more possession. Got them on the ball, got them winning the ball back higher up the pitch, and made them more into a team that can dominate the ball and create things. So if you can do something similar at Everton, where we need to evolve from being this, I mean, we were a low block side under Ancelotti, and now we're neither a low block or a high press. We're neither. We're nothing. So he's got free rein to come and decide what to do. I personally think he's got some of the tools at Everton to be successful already. A target man. I think Van De Beek offers the box to box, the number 8, the late role. He does need a lot of players. I think, look, Damari Gray, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, and Van De Beek are going to be like your front four, and that's got good potential. I think we need a central defensive midfielder who can play alongside either Doucouré or Allen, or in there if needed to make up a 3. But the way he's going to play, he's going to do a 4-3-3. He's going to have a screen in front of the back 4. The full backs are going to push high, and the 2 other midfielders are going to be box to box. So we're going to need to recruit some players. Look, he might well go for Dele Alli. You never know. He might still bring him in. I also would like to just say thank you very much for being here and watching this stream, because I know there's I can imagine there's some big streams on at the moment with reacting to this news. So I appreciate all 50 of you who are sat watching me on this, and also pleased to say that we've hit 750 subscribers. We're actually up to 753, so keep them coming in. That's absolutely brilliant. Made up with that. I think we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I think that unlocks your YouTube potential really, and helps where your videos get positioned. And we want to see if we can get a guest on. So bear with me a minute, please. I'm going to try and get a guest on. You bear with me a minute, please, guys. Literally 1 minute. Phone. trying to get Basil from the channel on, but I think he's at uni, so it's probably not going to happen. If anyone wants to actually come and have a say, and you can just use your phone, you can use your webcam as well, but you can just go straight on from your phone. I'll send you a link. All you need to do, send a message in the comments. I'll get in touch with you and send you the link. I'm going to go straight back to the comments. Lingard would be fab before 11 o'clock tomorrow. Hearing Delph sent on loan, or hear Tosin. No. Tosin's apparently rejected several loan moves, I believe. Hull City being one of them. He's a mercenary and he wants to see out his contract. Delph is injured apparently till the end of the season. So that's another that's not happening, unfortunately. But Lingard, I think, would be a good signing. But we can't loan anyone else, so it have to be a permanent deal. And I think they're worried about getting rid of him. And also today, the thing with Mason Greenwood, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs. I think everyone would share the same sentiment about it. So no real need to pass an opinion, but I think they'd be cautious about letting another wide man go, another forward player, if, well, he's been suspended by the club. So maybe they'll want to keep hold of Lingard, and he deserves a chance. Lingard, he really does. So yeah, I agree with you, Blue Nose WKD. He'd be a really good signing, but I don't see it, unfortunately. Nicholas is saying, I say Lingard to Everton. I agree, Nicholas. Absolutely spot on. I think he'd make a difference for us. Emil saying, all the best from Arsenal fan. Thank you very much. How do you feel about Calvert-Lewin potentially now staying at Everton? He's not going anywhere. I think Lampard really highly rates him. Sean saying, need a left back. What about Dean from Villa? Don't you get a 14 days distance selling rights? I'd love to have Dean back. I think you've got to have a squad. You can't just have one left back. And I was actually a bit concerned that Mykolenko wasn't involved for the game under Duncan Ferguson. I worry whether there's a barrier and a language barrier there, and he can't maybe pass his instructions across. And so he goes for someone he can communicate with in Ben Godfrey at left back. And I think we're going to see Ben Godfrey a lot at left back for the rest of the season, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure Mykolenko is going to play an awful lot. He needs an adaptation period. Owen, hi. Thank you for subscribing, mate. Much appreciated. Martin saying, made it. We have Frank Lampard. Come on, you mighty toffees. Come on, Everton. Love that. Thanks, Martin. Make sure you're subscribed. Eugene is saying, are you doing a transfer deadline day tomorrow for Everton incomings into the club? Would you like one? And if so, what sort of time would you like that to happen? Because I can imagine, again, there's going to be lots of streams, and I don't like to be doing too much at the same time. I'm just going to bring Basil in. You've got 5 minutes. I know you're at uni finishing a deadline. This is my brother Basil. He's part of the channel. He's absolutely superb. Basil, Frank Lampard in. Very raw reaction. Are you happy about this?
Is it confirmed?
Yes. Not on the Everton website, but Sky Sports and
on BBC.
Every journalist under the sun is saying it's true.
I think we know it's already in. I don't think it's any new news, is it?
No, but how are you feeling about it? I mean, I watched a YouTube interview between him and Gary Neville, and he came across really well. Like he's got a bit of banter about him. He does this thing where he laughs and then just a really straight face.
Well, a few videos you can watch online of him talking on media in his Chelsea days. I mean, he does come across well. That's one thing. I mean, he won't take no shit from anyone, will he? Have you seen his with Jurgen Klopp as well? He's already got a bit of a rivalry going.
Brilliant. He told him to fuck off. So that's good enough for me. He actually said the only title you've ever won, and you're giving it the big one. So look, David, I think, by the way, you need to put your Twitter handle as your name there and try and get it as Basil Allerton Blue. Give him a follow. He's just joined Twitter for a sin, so give him a follow on there, Allerton Blue. But he come across really well, really tactically intelligent. Like he's got a bit of banter. He knows what he's talking about. And a down-to-earth guy. And I think Evertonians are going to relate to that in a way, and I think the players will relate to him. What do you think of the backroom staff he's bringing in? Paul Clement, former Ancelotti assistant manager at 4 clubs, but Duncan Ferguson leaving potentially.
Look, it's more of a succinct back. It seems to suit us better, doesn't it, than the Rafa coming in with his ex-Liverpool thing and his background team. I mean, this seems like a better background team. If they've all had a bit of exposure to Ancelotti and they've worked with each other, I think it makes a lot of sense what's happening. It remains to be seen how many of these names that I've been reading about actually come in. Talking about Steve Holland coming from England, which I just don't understand why why he would leave his role. I think he's assistant manager. As much as I'd like him to come, and then he's got some other good ones there.
Contacts are good, aren't they?
Mel Morris is not coming, is he? Because he's too close to him.
Are you talking about Jody Morris? Mel Morris is the Derby County chairman.
Yeah, German, isn't it? Yeah, I'm talking about his friend, his mate. Yeah, he was the assistant manager.
Mel Morris isn't coming now because they felt that they were too close to. They were too close friends to really say what they wanted to say to each other. But they're nicking some of the Chelsea backroom staff and getting Paul Clement. Paul Clement was a really poor manager actually at Swansea and a couple of other clubs. He's just been sacked. But as his assistant manager, Ancelotti took him absolutely everywhere. So before his son came on the scene and replaced him because obviously Paul wanted to become assistant manager, a main manager.
And where's Duncan?
Well, it's talking that apparently he's on his way out. So I would have kept him. I think you keep him. He's the identity of the club. It's good to see Tim Cahill also in the backroom staff. But
worry is because we're in a real precarious position right now. And you're taking out one of your what you deem to be as a man motivator, and you're bringing in an effective foreign bunch of team to manage the club. But I mean, the one thing with Frank is he's young. We haven't had someone this young for a few years now. Someone who's unproven and wants to do well, rather than a Benitez who kind of wants to just live in Liverpool and get on with it. And Ancelotti's already won everything under the sun. You'd hope he's got something to prove here.
You think, but this could be his last, real opportunity to get a job at a big club. If he doesn't do well here, that's him out, really, isn't it? Because he's been sacked at Chelsea. He needs to try and build some reputation now and prove himself as a manager. You'd think if he fails at Everton, then he's gonna have to go right down the leagues, isn't he, and work his way back up. I don't think you get another PL job straight away.
No, I mean, a lot of people are saying, why has he got this one with his CV so far? And you can kind of understand, if you weren't an ex-footballer, you wouldn't be getting this job for sure. But he's got Premier League experience, and he's a household name, isn't he? He's got the experience. He's worked in the dressing room. He's worked for Chelsea with the managers like Ancelotti and Benitez.
We failed with the two managers that managed Lampard. So
he's had quite a few different top managers to have exposure from in terms of tactics, in terms of man management. So you'd expect he's got, he's taken a good level of experience of what it's like to be a player and be managed. And you'd hope he could reverse that.
Dave, he plays a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 diamond. I think we've got the players for that right now.
He's playing with midfielders, isn't he? Lots of midfielders. And
he loves the midfield.
He was a midfielder. I mean, that's our weakest position, arguably. So
I think it could be a really good transformation because you need to have players making those late runs into the box. A little bit of variety in the middle. Our 4-4-2 is extremely predictable. And by bringing someone...
we really struggled to get crosses in last week because we were obviously 1v1 or 2v2. And if you add that third
easy to mark,
you can play triangles on the wings. So, it sounds better.
Easy to mark against a 4-4-2, as you say. I think everyone can mark, and there's no overloads anywhere on the pitch. I think the 4-3-3 is going to make a massive difference to us, whether we've got the personnel to implement that, and whether Richarlison or players like that are going to be happy going out on the wing is another thing. But Dave, I think you made some good points. Just a comment from the Blue Boys Network. Mike, he's absolutely fantastic, Evertonian. He says, we aren't a winning club. Everything needs to change. We are a board of losers and managers who bar Carlo managers. Haven't won anything recently. Lampard is hungry, young and positive. I think that's a fair assessment, isn't it? Thanks, Mike. Much appreciated. Thanks for having you on. I'd agree with that.
100%. I mean, that's the main thing that inspires me is the fact he'll be driven. He can't fail, as you said. He's got to make this work. And I think I read I listened to some of his interviews where he said he struggled with his personal life work balance because he was so obsessed with getting it right at Chelsea that he puts his heart and soul into it, which you want to hear as your manager, don't you? You don't want him slacking off home. So I'm prepared to give him some time and let bed in, but we are in a real precarious position, as I've said before, and we're going to have to hit the ground running straight away.
We are. How long does he get, Dave, if things don't go well? I mean, I got to ask you.
If he doesn't hit the ground running and it's 2 months in, you know, and we're still in sort of less than 16th, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he would go again. You know, and be calling up Big Dunk, wouldn't you? You know, they got to hope that's not going to happen. We have got some quality players. We should be able to pull it together and get some victories. I think what Frank is going to have to understand is that he needs to get together the squad in a way that can get results. It's not just about coming in, putting your 4-3-3 down and hoping you can get possession football going, because we won't get results like that with the personnel we have.
Baz, can I ask you on signings? Can I ask everyone here now, actually? Can everyone give Basil a follow on Twitter? It's Allerton. I think someone's clocked him. He's in uni. So it's Allerton Blue. It's ALLERTON. I'm going to put it on the screen. Give him a follow. He's got about 30 followers. This. Go on Twitter, do me a favor and give him a follow. He'll follow you back. He deserves some followers. Don't you, David?
I haven't posted anything yet.
No, but it's good. It's going to be good content.
It's good to connect with other people, and you get, you know, it seems like you get in the circles, don't you? And you get more information. So,
well, look, there's 103 people watching here on YouTube live tonight on Sunday night. I know some Evertonians have got nothing better to do, and I'm one of them. So thanks. Say again.
Are they excited for once?
Yes. The comments. Excited? I mean, have you got a minute, or you got to go? You can just say, put your hand up and say, I got to go.
Got 1 more minute. Yeah.
You got 1 more minute. 45 watching. Where your manners? Get these likes up. Cop-out behavior. Everyone, please hit the like and subscribe button. David, you're in such a good mood. You are happy about the Lampard appointment, aren't you?
Well, it's been
happy to see Rafa.
I've been to so many terrible matches this year that I just want to see some good football, and hopefully we'll get out of this mess and we can start rebuilding, because it was toxic.
Owen's saying we need a solid back four. Do you think we need to dip into the market and bring in a centre half before?
It's another good reason to have Frank is he never plays a back three, and we're rubbish when we play a back three or a back five. He don't think he ever played it at Chelsea or at Derby. He always played 4-4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or the diamond. But he needs to sort it from the back. It looks like Donny Van De Beek's coming in on loan. You happy with that? I'm happy with it, but my main concern is that we've used the 2 domestic loan signings and we can't sign another player because we've got El Ghazi, which, you know, I don't mind it. The fact we've got El Ghazi is the fact we've used up a loan situation when we can't really afford to bring in any other players apart from on loan.
Would you rip up El Ghazi's contract? Send him back to Villa?
That was ridiculous. And it probably cost us money. I think Donny Van De Beek, he could be really good for us, actually. From what I've seen from him, he hasn't really had a chance, but he's strong, he's physical, his dribbling is decent. He'll carry the ball and he'll look for a pass. You know, his vision's better than what we've got in midfield. So I think he's a good addition. I mean, I can see us playing a 4-3-3 with him and Decore ahead of Alan, but it doesn't really solve the problems of kind of having a holding midfielder or centre backs who are controlled and aggressive in the right way. Maybe their jobs for the summer.
Just looking through some more of the comments, Dave.
What do people say?
A lot of people have come over from. I think we're getting Mabsy in. Mabsy's coming on. So that might, when Mabsy comes on in a sec, Dave, you can drop out.
Yeah, no, I would be on the video. It's just I've had to come to uni to sort something out. That's quite important, but I'm glad to hear the news. And I mean,
How
we've
did
got
you
an
get
intro
on? Did you
24
got good
hours.
marks?
Hmm?
Heard you got good marks.
I got good mark, 1 mark back. Yeah. I got to take this in.
This guy saying, "What about Origi as backup?" Oh, come on, it's never going to happen. We're never going to sign anyone from directly across the park. Eugene says we need to get rid of some dead wood in the squad, like Rondon. Is that someone you'd like to see leave in the summer potentially, along with?
He's a big scapegoat, isn't he? I think he's a
Well,
big scapegoat. I don't think he's
Cenk's
got.
going.
I don't think he's.
Cenk,
I don't think he's a good player, but I think he gets a lot of blame.
he's a scapegoat, but he is terrible. But Cenk's going in the summer. Kenny's going in the summer. Delph's leaving. Sigurdsson's contract finally expires. So there's 4 there. I can think of there's probably a couple more who'll be out. So there's going to be a big change up of things in the summer. So do you think you can invest in January with that in mind and foresee that and go, okay, well, we need someone now. We're in a bit of a shit state. So let's spend a bit of money because we're going to have, 10 million off the wage bill in the summer. Easy.
I think we could buy another player, from my understanding, but I think we've got a situation where we don't want to rush this through. We've got 1 day to go. We don't want to just buy another Iwobi. It's better to think it through, and I prefer a loan signing at this rate, this situation, unless they're a well-established player. I think if you said it was Lingard or Loftus-Cheek and it was not too much money, then I'd say yes. But the problems at centre-back, the problems at midfield, I think they're going to have to be solved at the summer. I am a bit concerned we don't have a left-back. I mean, we do have a left-back, but we have 1 left-back. And the 1 left-back we do have needs more time and more help. If we'd got somebody experienced in to just cover left-back as well, that could have maybe helped.
Yeah, but we've obviously got the young left back who's on loan at Standard Liège coming back at the end of the season. So it's just whether the club have watched him and foresee that he could make a difference next season. As I said before, I don't know if you saw, but I was said that I would have Luca Dean back. It's not how obviously it's impossible, but we should have kept on Luca Dean, I think, at least until the end of the season. But it was never going to happen with the fallout because I think you need 2 players in every position. You need 2 quality players. And it would have helped Mikalenko integrate a little bit easier, I think, to slowly bring him in, rather than just, say, we're replacing you with the France World Cup left backs going and we're bringing you in and that's it. You speak no English straight in a really struggling team. So I'd have kept him. We need players in every position. I think we're well stocked at right back, even though Kenny's on his way out at the end of the season. I think we need to bring in another left back. I think we probably need reinforcements at centre half, but we need to get rid of our central defenders. And I think we need another striker. And I think we're going to see 2 of our forwards go in Jenkin and Rondon in the summer, hopefully. We've got Mabsy coming in. Mabsy, there's 122 people watching on YouTube, joining us live on this Sunday night. If you haven't already subscribed, welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, the channel host. I've got Basil and Mabsy with me. We're going to be here for the next 10 minutes. So please hit that like and subscribe button below, bottom left-hand corner. Really easy, doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps us out. David, who's with you?
Just one of my group mates who we've got to write this thing about our project.
Okay, all right. Well, do you want to go?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go out because otherwise we'll be here for hours.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Okay, all right. Give
Join
David a follow. Give him a follow. It's Allerton Blue.
Thanks,
See you
everyone.
later. Bye. Mabsy. Mabsy, you there,
You're
mate?
right.
I can hear you crystal clear.
Yeah,
For the next 10 minutes until... Yes, can hear you
Sam.
absolutely fine. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
We've got until 10:30. Okay, so 10 minutes or so. There's 131 people. What is background noise? Awful.
We've got all the 24 hours now.
Mabsy, it's gone weird. It's gone really weird.
They're going to have to be not domestic, international loans because we've fucked up with El Ghazi. Yeah, as I say, I think out of the 3 candidates that were remaining, well, out of the shortlist, he's the best.
Mabs, the line, I don't know,
So
it's
yeah,
dreadful.
I'm happy. I think
Mabsy, it's
there's still
dreadful.
positivity.
Mabsy, it's absolutely dreadful. What are you doing? You under a tunnel? I can hear you now.
No, I'm just saying there's sadness
That's
in
better.
Leave the club. Gutted about that, but he had to go. He has to go. And this sentiment is unfoot. You know what? He's a loyal servant to the club, isn't he?
Mabsy, it sounds like you're like in a toaster or something, and then you come in and we can hear you crystal clear.
2 minutes and I'm nearly home, and I'll be okay.
Do you want to drop back in 2 minutes?
Give me 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, 2 minutes, because we've got till 10:30, so I'll bring you back in. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'll bring Mabsy back in a moment. It's wasn't ideal to hear that like that. It was like he was underwater or through a toaster. Nicholas Edwards saying, has Van De Beek done his medical? No, not that I know of. I think that's going to happen tomorrow. Unknown, about time. Smash the like button, everyone. Love it. Thank you very much. Don't know who that is, but thanks for your support. We need to make Goodison a ground no one wants to go to, even under Moyes. That was like that. I agree. We need to make Goodison horrible again. And I think that all comes from playing a really intense and aggressive style of football. And I really hope that we'll be able to implement that. And Frank will be able to see what we need and what the fans demand. We've got this guy saying Dunk will probably move back to his training role. Yeah, possibly. I think, but it seems to me that a lot of sources are saying that Lampard's leaving now and he's moving on. Rondon scored a hat trick the other night. He'll bang them in for us now. Par him with Green. Yeah. I'm not so sure, to be honest, that Rondon. I mean, if you look at the quality of players he was playing against, Rondon, they were really poor. They were stood off him. So I don't really see him being able to make a difference for us in the long term. I just think Rondon was finished when he signed. He came for his mate Rafa. We were desperate. We had no money. And he's not good enough for Everton Football Club. And he's probably not good enough for any team in the Premier League, as are quite a few of the players we've got, in fairness. And sorry to say that. And one thing, we're talking about transfers. I don't want to see Everton just go out now and panic buy 2 or 3 players that aren't good enough if they're permanent deals. On a loan, I think it's a little bit less risk. As you saw with Donny Van De Beek, it's low risk, really. But I really hope we don't just go out and buy players willy-nilly, because we get stuck with them and we can't get rid of them. And I think Rondon is one of those that you've got another year on his deal and you're going to find it really difficult to get rid of him. And I think we're coming towards the end of getting rid of the Deadwood. I think there's probably there's a difference between Deadwood and real Deadwood. I mean, I think Michael Keane, Mason Holgate are Deadwood at the club. I think they're finished. I don't think they offer anything anymore. But in the eyes of the club and the football community, they have got a value. Whereas the real Deadwood have no value whatsoever to anyone. And when I mean that, I mean the likes of Tosin, no one's going to sign him. Rondon, no one's going to sign him. I think we're coming to the end of the real Deadwood. And then I think now it's just a case of we've got a group of players that aren't good enough, and we need to start thinking about moving them on and keep the best ones and build from that, and do that in a way that's not going to cause too much disruption and is going to be impossible to manage. Length of contract for Lampard's 2.5 years. Drew, Paul Clement. Yeah, I think that is confirmed, actually. Now in talks with Sunderland. I think that's just a rumour, to be honest with you. I think that's just an absolute rumour. Bringing Mabsy back in. Mabsy, it still sounds like you're on a tunnel. You're through a tunnel. What are you speaking to me on? The device isn't connected. Duncan for the Scotland job. If Frank fails, we're playing Championship football. Yeah, I agree, Chris. Hi, Mabs.
Are you okay?
That's much better, Mabsy. There's 130 people watching. So we've got a good audience.
So I think it's supposed, as I was saying before, I think it's really great we've got Lampard in. Best we could have got at the moment. But you know what? He's a young, hungry manager, and he can take us far. You really
I think-
can. I truly believe that.
So
the
what's
backroom staff he's bringing in, again, quality all round.
What are your expectations now in the short term before the end of the season? I mean, I agree the backroom staff look like they're top level backroom staff, and I'm pleased and impressed with them, especially if we can still get like some Anthony Barry in. And I like to see Duncan stay at the club, but probably the role we've offered him didn't suit him, and he's deciding to go.
To be from what I've heard, right?
Yeah,
I don't think that's not happening. You can write that off for actually. I would say Dunk has, unfortunately, currently reached the end of the line in his Everton career. I think hopefully it's only a hiatus, not a goodbye.
So is that confirmation that you're able to provide from a source close to you that Duncan is leaving Everton?
I've heard numerous sources. I can't 110%, but I would say it. Yeah, I'd go as far as to say I would put money on it.
Okay, how much?
A tenner. A tenner. That's a lot for me, considering at a better pound. So.
I know. I've seen you betting a quid on things. What are your expectations of Lampard this season and then next season?
Honestly, the way this season's gone, the only expectation I have this season is a decent cup run, which may be too much to ask for. Ultimately, we need to stay up. To anyone who thinks,
would you sacrifice the Brentford
is a guarantee?
Would you sacrifice the Brentford game to win at Newcastle?
What?
Would you sacrifice the Brentford game to win at Newcastle?
Yeah,
and I'd like to know what people think about that.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, the Newcastle game is so important, not just because we win that 3 points. Ultimately, Newcastle don't get 3 points. It's so imperative we win that game. It's a 6-pointer. No doubt. You know what? If we get a few wins behind us, we're safe. But at this present moment, we've got to win. And I think Newcastle is pivotal.
Thanks, Mabsy. I think a lot of people would agree with you. You've got to look at the wider context of it, really. As much as we want a trophy, you've got to get to safety first. And I don't think Everton will go down now with this appointment. I think that the backroom staff are experienced enough. I think that Lampard, as Drew Yardley is saying here, has got the contacts of, Frank Senior and Harry Redknapp. So I think we might see some deals come in before the end of the deadline. Who would you like to see, Mabsy? Would you take Ruben Loftus-Cheek or Dele Alli? Only on a permanent deal at this stage.
Dele Alli's dead. Too expensive, so I think you can rule that out. Loftus-Cheek, again, I think we've got to realise is that we haven't got any cash. The simple answer is potentially, I've heard rumours, and again, very speculative, Barkley on a free. Maybe an offer to us on a free. So potentially that might come in.
Yeah.
There's rumours again with Idrissa Gana Gueye coming in as a loan because PSG need to sell to buy. I'd take that any day of the week. And there's rumours Holgate might go out to Brighton.
To replace Dan Burn?
Yeah.
But hang on, but what do we do at centre-half? I mean, I'd take that all day, but...
Well, you've got Mina and Godfrey, haven't you?
But then you've only got Keane and Branthwaite. Yeah.
But it's, as I say, this is not as from what I've heard. I mean, again, it's very tentative. But would you take Gay back?
I would, but he's with the African Cup of Nations.
So what? We can do the deal. The agent can sign. The deal can be done. But
yeah, who said this?
What do you mean? Who said this? So would he yes or no? If you could take him, would you take him back
in a heartbeat? But it's not going to happen. He's at the African Cup of Nations.
It doesn't matter. It can be done. you sit down in the room, you email. Also, the agent can do the signing for them, can't they? It's only a loan move. It's not a permanent thing. It can be done.
I'm absolutely inundated, Mabs, with messages about everything that's going on. I think it's widely accepted that Lampard is the manager, and everyone's happy about it in general. I've got a couple of people saying, "What's he done to deserve the Everton job?" Which I think,
you
fair
know
enough,
what?
I suppose.
He probably hasn't, but at the end of the day, what did he do to deserve the Chelsea job? And he did a good job. Let's be honest. You know, that team that won the Champions League. Okay, Tuchel managed them, but that's his team that he built. I don't understand what fans want. I really don't. You know what? We're not unfortunately we're not in a position where we've got hundreds of managers banging down the door demanding the job. You know, the likes of Wayne Rooney decides to stay at Derby. Let's be honest, but he turns back on us, and when didn't he want to go for an interview? What does that tell you about the man?
Yeah, maybe that is a bit more mature.
But you know what? Turning that, you know what? How many times has he done the dirty to us now? And he's still beg for him and think.
Right. So can I just ask you, would you have Rooney over Lampard right now?
No.
No. Okay. So there's no problem with it. Babs, thanks for coming on. I've got about 50 comments here that I haven't read out. And normally I get to read every single comment out, but guys, it's absolutely impossible tonight. I don't think it's ever blown up quite like that. And I know there's 130 still watching live on YouTube. I don't know whether the stream's been picked up on Facebook tonight, because we normally have a few people on Facebook watching. But no, it appears just to be on YouTube. Can I ask everyone, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. My name is Ryan. I'm the host on here, and Mabsy is Paul Clement. He's a fantastic Everton pundit. So give us a subscription, give us a like on the video. Very quickly, I'm going to go through some of the comments and read some of them out. I'm really sorry, I can't possibly get through everyone before the end of it. We got a comment saying it as quick as I can. If Duncan goes to Sunderland, he could take some Deadwood with him.
Well, yeah, but again, it's not as straightforward as that, because the window shuts like within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So let's be honest,
Long
he's not
time.
going to get rid of them. He's not going to be able to do the deal and then get his players in. Plus, would they want to go? Why would they want? And also, can Sunderland afford our players because of the wages being crazy prices? So that's not going to happen.
The local feeder, they could be the local feeder club, but they're not that local. Someone said the over 60s will wake up gutted. Wayne Rooney's not coming in as manager.
Well, why are they not waking? I don't get that, because Wayne Rooney a few days ago kind of already said that he wasn't. He turned down the chance to be interviewed on Friday. Actually, it was so. A bit of an odd comment that.
A few people saying they subscribed and they followed. Thank you very much. We've got Kevani saying new manager and loan player and no prison. It's a win-win. Man U are more of a mess than we are.
Yeah, absolutely. With Van De Beek, it's a great appointment, because it's a no risk. We just send him back at the end of the season. I mean, if they use shape.
AUS is saying still need a bit of pace in midfield. Van De Beek isn't very quick. Any team with any zip in midfield will make a mockery of us. Yeah, okay. What's your opinion on Dobbin? Quick as you can, Mabs. I mean, I really want to try and get through.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him. I made up he signed a new contract. He must have known that he was signing, and Lampard was signing it. So his new deal, fantastic. Give him a go. Let's see what he can do. And Lampard will play the youth.
Comment from someone saying we need another Tim Cahill. Could Van De Beek be that, really? Late runs into the box.
Who knows? I mean, as I say, he's an unknown quantity, because he's not been getting the chances that he should have got at United. So hopefully.
Ben says we can have 2 loans from abroad, but no one.
Yeah, so we can have, as I said, yeah. So it said we can have another 2 loans from absolutely noted from the Prem. So that's why what's his face at Deli Ali's off.
Are you not able to log on your computer and control this stream? Because I've got to go. I'm getting bollocked. There's like 40 comments watching. Man using potato for a microphone. These are hysterical, honestly. Is he in a hot air balloon? This was about you before. In a toaster. In here's a pad in Walton. Brilliant. No, he lives in the south of the city. Got people, some fans saying that they'd rather lose. We have nothing to lose FA Cup. We have everything to lose in the Prem, so we've got to prioritise the Newcastle game. That's from Pokai Jedi. Mike saying he expects survival and a style of play and some identity. I think I agree with you there. Raymond saying we need a new club captain. That's an interesting one. If Coleman obviously is being phased out, I think you've got to look at that, but we're really short of
I think
options.
you do, absolutely. I think it's time as well. It's time to look at the captaincy now. We've got a new manager, so why not?
Sean saying Lampard was a great player, but as a manager, he caused a lot of Derby's problems. They spent the most on transfers to get 6 in the Championship, and at Chelsea spent 200 million, and he had a fallout with everyone. I'm going to put that one up and just leave that for a minute because I think that is. Some people will agree with Sean.
You know what? I think, okay, why are you being so negative? Again, I think, we've got to now just get behind him. It's done. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do to change the fact that he's now the manager now. So we've got to get back and get behind him and give him the backing that he needs and the players. So, if it ends sour, but let's just focus on staying up, shall we?
Here's one. Relegation time. Duncan knows it's best to go. Paul Lamp's next head on the block. Gypsy King saying, first of all, Frank's got to learn not to play on his phone while driving, then sort the squad out. Some of these are quite funny, actually. No room for sentimentality. He's not up to the job. He's out. If he's not up to the job, he's out. Joe saying Ghana played tonight for Senegal. Looked exactly what we need. He won't be back for a while. Probably be in the final on Sunday. I think you can still do a deal. Abroad. I think you've got fax, email, etc., etc.
I just said to you before, you can do a deal before you can do the deal abroad. As I say,
why would he come back?
He's not going to be in the FA Cup, but he'll be back for the. He'll be back. It may not be back for the Newcastle game, but yeah.
I'm sorry to disappoint, but I just don't see that. Just don't see that happening. I've got asked if Chelsea terminated Barkley's contract, would you take him on a free?
Yeah, as I just said, before, there's a potential that we can get him on the free. So, yeah, I'd be quite happy with that.
Sean saying, a Newcastle United fan. Good evening, Sean. This is a good appointment for you and a good signing for Van De Beek. Thanks, Sean. Kevin saying, I'm over 60 and I'm not bothered Wayne is coming or not. For Lampard will do the business for us.
Yeah, good one, Kev.
Good positivity. Aaron Clement is saying, would you have James back?
No, nowhere near the squad. You can, honestly, no, toxic, no. Everyone knows my views on. I've watched this channel. Know my views on the James.
Blue Nose KD Dublin says no negative comments. Let's be positive from the get-go and get behind the manager, the players, and the club.
Exactly.
Pokai Jedi saying I'd not have James back. I'd have James back in a heartbeat, but that's not going to happen. The amount of games James won on his own last season, absolute travesty. He got rid. I agree.
No, it wasn't. He didn't want to be there. Why have a player that didn't want to be there? It was causing problems.
I think Rafa pushed him out, Mabs. But we're not going to recycle all ground. I know you're
No, seriously, there were problems before. He wanted out the Wolves game. That's why he fucked off to Colombia when he did. I'm not going to go through that again. We rehashed that so many times, that argument.
We're up to 775 subscribers. There's 161 people watching live on YouTube tonight. Welcome to Follow Everton, your Everton news channel and opinion channel, or whatever you want to call it. But we appreciate you here. Everyone who hasn't already subscribed, I know the 166. I imagine at least 60, 70% of you haven't subscribed. Please hit that subscribe button down below and support the channel. We should be getting up to, we should easily be getting 800 subscribers tonight. I think we could easily get another 25 more. There you go. We're creeping up. We'll just do the last couple of comments.
Okay.
Matty Elvin saying, "I'm absolutely delighted we've got Frankie Lampard. I wanted him in the summer. He'll be a good manager for us."
Yes, Matty. Well in.
Frank is also blue.
Yeah,
and the
absolutely.
goal.
And also he hates Klopp. He didn't tell him to fuck off. Fucking that's one in the book for me anyway.
Mabsy Pokey saying James won the derby. It was an amazing assist for the first goal.
So
saw
what?
where
He
we
won
were
the
last season
derby.
when he
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
injured.
We need to get over this, but I'm not going to rehash it. At the end of the day, he disrespected everyone at the club when Ancelotti was there, and there was no say for Rafa Benitez. He fucked off to Colombia. Didn't he have the decency to? He never played in front of the fans. Didn't have decency to stay for a few more hours just to do the walkabout. Then he could have gone if he was that so inclined, and then posted that photo on the plane there. So no, really hate him. Really hate James, what he was on and never played.
I love him for his assist in the derby. Poke saying Siggy gone, Dini gone, and James gone, all top assisters and scorers. What did we expect? I completely agree. Yeah, this is the tweet of the day. But we did bring in Damari Gray and Townsend, who've been two of our best players
But
this season.
Dean's just gone, so you can't just blame on Dean. Dean has been shit for 18 months. Let's not again paint Dean to be something he wasn't. The last 18 months, he had one good season.
Toffee Girl subscribed.
Yeah, cheers, Toffee Girl.
Billy Lee is subscribed.
Cheers.
Lampard will take 4 points out of 415 in the first 5 games, apparently.
No.
We've got GFC Global Fans channel. Good evening. He says Chelsea fan. He's a new Everton fan, and basically he's going to be looking out for the Everton results. The future is bright with Super Frankie.
I would totally agree with that one. Positivity, Super Frankie.
Well, did you hear? You wouldn't have heard it before, but I made a great. It wasn't deliberate, but a bag of. I think he said Lampard's bag of beak. He's bagged beak or something, and I wasn't actually thinking about it. You need to watch it back. Anyway, ignore
me.
Okay. I've just made a funny joke, but I can't remember it. Anyway, I'm digging a hole. I love James. He's a world class player. World class players don't last long at Everton. Kevin saying, "I'm subscribed to 1,000 channels, so I'll subscribe to one more." Thanks.
Yeah, we're the best, Kev. So thanks.
Everton fans need to get behind him. This is from Chris. He's saying, if Ferguson leaves, we have a lot of respect and wish him good luck for the future.
Absolutely, Chris. I mean, I couldn't agree more. He's been a loyal servant to us, and I hope he goes out and gets some experience, and then proves the board, and then slaps his CV and says, "Give me the job," and that's what I want. That's what I want him to come back and do that. I'm not. This isn't, as I said, this isn't goodbye. This is just it's a hiatus for him.
Amanda says Frank is a good choice for us as manager. He's bringing in great backroom staff.
Absolutely, I've said before, yeah.
And Volt saying, remember being at Goodison with Lampard and Drogba silenced us with 10 minutes to go. I do. Top player. I think we've got a fan here, a really good fan of the channel. Volt Spark saying 70 likes. Get these likes up. And Tony's just saying he's subscribed.
Cheers.
JT says up the effing toffees.
Up the fucking toffees, absolutely.
So, guys, thanks for watching tonight. We could sit here all night, really, and I think we'd have a good audience of people who want to talk about this because this is hot.
Are we going to do like a transfer special tomorrow, or?
We can do, but I am aware of another stream of someone that I'm fond of. Really fond of at 9:30. So. Sorry, not 9:30. It just depends on the time, Mabs. What sort of time are you thinking?
Well, I can
Close
do
to deadline.
7. Or do you want to do actually on the? Do you want to do 11 o'clock?
Okay. Shall we liaise? We might have to do a double stream if it's a deadline day. So, guys, we'll hopefully be back tomorrow with some content. Thank you so much. I've got Mabsy with me, Park and Goodison. You saw Basil before. He's Allerton.
I'll be on the video as well tomorrow. My ugly face will be back.
Oh, fantastic. Chris is saying he's subscribed. Thanks, Chris. Robert saying Ferguson was gutted. The team let him down. I agree. guys, can I just ask? We need 14 more people to hit that subscribe button. We'll get up to 800 subscribers, which
Steve said he can do 7:30 as well. So,
okay, it's amazing to see how far we've come actually as a channel to get to even near 800. We were saying we wouldn't get anywhere near it. It was hard. It has been difficult. So if you like the content, please support us. Hit that subscribe button, guys. I wish you all the absolute very best. Transfer deadline day, as someone's rightly said, is all day tomorrow. But I'm not going to sit on here all day. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But in the evening, at some point, maybe 7:30 or maybe 11 o'clock, just before the deadline, we'll do a couple of streams. I think hopefully get Big Andy Mabs on. Give him a follow on Twitter. Give us a follow as well on Twitter @follow Everton, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. All the best. Goodbye, Mabs.
bye bye.